South Jersey's home for the Sixers and Flyers.
Yeah! He scored! A two-hand jam!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and you can watch the show live here in the Matt Black Kia Studios here on 97.3 ESPN. We got some Eagles news, touch on also Phillies news, the touch on NBA Finals Game 1 was last night. All that and more coming up here on 97.3 ESPN. Also, it's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg will join us coming up to get more into everything's going on. You know, baseball, football, all that with Dave Weinberg coming up in less than 20 minutes from now. As always, you can text into the show, 609-403-0973 to get in on the conversation. Listen on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. 609-403-0973. Also, if you're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you can watch the show, comment on the stream. We'll be able to get to your guys' comments a little bit later in the show. But I got to start off with this. I'll get to the Phillies news in a minute. But the Eagles news that kind of started last night and has been kind of festering for the last less than 24 hours, basically. So, for those who didn't see, over at 97.3 ESPN.com, we have the full Twitter conversation between the men. But basically, Darius Slay reaches out to Steven Nelson on Twitter and basically tells him he would look really good in the Eagles uniform. It's basically what he was saying and inferring. And I thought it was it was cool, but it was also a little weird because it was almost like, you know, what does Darius Slay think that he's going to do that someone else can't do? But I had to push myself back, and I said, look, at the end of the day, this is the world we live in. You know, things don't work the way they used to, right? The world doesn't operate the way it used to. And so, you know, you can't be overly judgy or overly analytical of things that happen on social media. And that's my big warning to everyone. Don't read too much into it. It doesn't mean that Steven Nelson is or isn't coming to the Eagles. All it is two guys having a conversation in a public space. I think that's the big thing we have to take away from this, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's said on Twitter. It doesn't matter what's said on social media. We get so hung up on the headlines. You know, the sludge websites, the people who scrape the bottom of the barrel. What do they always post? So-and-so took their team name off their page, or they stopped following so-and-so, or so-and-so blocked so-and-so. It's one of those deals where it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I mean, if we were hypersensitive and nitpicked everything that happened on social media, every single person, we would all lose our minds. Okay? So now, when you have a situation where, when you think about what is going on with the Eagles, listen, I want Steven Nelson here as much as the next guy. But I don't think a Darius Slay tweeting at him is going to change that conversation. I think that Steven Nelson will sign with whatever team that he thinks makes the most sense for him and what he wants. And if what he wants is guaranteed money or some sort of bigger contract than the Eagles can offer, then that's where he's going to go. If he wants a guaranteed starting slot as long as he shows up in shape, the Eagles are his team. But I'm not going to sit here and overthink and read too much into Darius Slay tweeting at him. That's just me. I think if Steven Nelson values getting time as a starter, he's coming to Philadelphia. If he cares about money in a contract, he's going to go somewhere else because the Eagles just don't have a lot of money to spend. And the assumption all along was always that, okay, Zach Ertz, when he gets traded or released, that money will open up the money needed to go out and get Steven Nelson. Well, that's the other side of the coin. Now, there is speculation out there, not reports, speculation. Remember, we had this conversation the other day. There's rumors, there's speculation, and then there's reporting. They're not all one and the same. Don't get it twisted. Don't be the buffoon who just is as gullible as the day is long because you saw somebody put it on social media, okay? Who says what matters in this world? And the speculation out there now is that the Zach Ertz situation is not going away. And because it's not going away, now we move into this phase of, well, what happens if Zach Ertz is on the team? And this is something that Dave Weinberg has talked about before, and he'll be joining us coming up in 13 minutes from now here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you here on Game Night. And that is when you have a guy like Zach Ertz, who has been this much to this organization, he has been the standard bearer of how to act as a professional, how to be in the community, how to relate to your teammates, how to be a good person, like all these different things that he is. And now there's a possibility that he is potentially going to still be here this year, or at least be at training camp. I think it changes a lot of the conversation, not just about the money that the Eagles are going to have in terms of maybe signing anybody else, but also about the reality that, and I'm not saying this to be mean, but is there maybe a possibility that Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff could prefer to have Zach Ertz at least for training camp or maybe for part of the year before they move on from him, because they know that he can help their offense in the transition and teaching the younger players. And for the Eagles, considering that Zach Ertz had a rough year last year, was the worst production of his career, then maybe you get him to come in here and show goodwill, and that they amplify his value when it comes to moving on from him. This might be a win-win for both sides if Zach Ertz is at training camp, because Zach Ertz can say, hey, I'm still Zach Ertz. I'm still one of the best tight ends in the league. I'm going to go out there and prove it in a better environment, in a better situation. And then you turn around, and if you're the Eagles, you say, yes, Zach Ertz, come in here. Show everybody you're still Zach Ertz. Get your value back up. And how about you come in here and show the younger players what it means to be a veteran in the NFL? This is now going to be Zach Ertz's third coach with the Eagles. So he's already been through the coaching change situation where other guys haven't. So you have a possibility that, you know what, this could be a win-win for both sides. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm definitely looking forward to how this all plays out. Of course, Eagles training camp just a couple weeks away. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Text board is open, 609-403-0973. If you're listening on 97.3 ESPN FM, 609-403-0973, and on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you comment on the stream, just like Jeff Bone and Pookie is done. We'll get to all of your comments a little bit later in the show. I promised the Phillies news. The Phillies, first of all, can I just get a little pat on the shoulder of myself? All the picks hit last night. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code Hennig if you haven't already signed up. Same game parlay. I said take the Phillies on the money line and combined it with the over 10 runs in the game. It was plus 215 odds, and we nailed that. So that was fun to watch last time. Not just the Phillies winning, but the fact that, listen to me, you won your bet too. Man, they roughed up Arrieta. By the way, Arrieta's on the injured list now with right hamstring tightness. Nice excuse for them to get him out of the pitching rotation until further notice. I mean, how pathetic is that? Bad outing. Arrieta comes out and tells the media, I can still pitch. Cubs say, nah, not really. We'll put you on the injured list. So the Phillies with a big win last night. And, you know, it was nice to see them have 2 straight offensive performances. And I know it's the Cubs have lost 11, 12 games in a row. But it's part of me that wonders, you know, is this the Phillies maybe gaining a little confidence, maybe building a little momentum? Well, we're going to find out how real it is tonight, because tonight it's Zach Wheeler on the mound. And Zach Wheeler, he's been the best pitcher on this team all year long. They have to win every time he takes the mound moving forward. If they want a realistic chance at being buyers at the trade deadline and contending in the National League East. And what they did is they made a move today. They added a pitcher who has actually pitched in the last 2 years, unlike Neftali Feliz. Cam Bedrosian has been assigned to the Phillies minor league deal. We're going to find out. Can Bedrock's kid pitch for the Phillies? Now, he's having a bit of a rough year. It hasn't been his best work, but he was pitching better with the Oakland A's compared to the Reds, where he got really roughed up. And before that, you know, Cam Bedrosian has been an all right pitcher. He hasn't been a bad player. Is he going to come in here and take over the closer job and lock things down? No, definitely not. Definitely not. But what he can go out there and do is what he did over in Anaheim. You look at it from 2018 to 2020, okay? That's a sample size of 141 games. Bedrosian had a 3.41 ERA. He also had 132 strikeouts and 140 innings. So he's just under that, my preference of strikeouts to innings ratio, but he's at least close in that category. Also, we know he's a guy that goes out there and is willing to throw innings. Okay, 140 innings in 141 games. So he basically averages an inning per game. So he's your traditional middle innings reliever. But the Phillies need more of those guys. And at 29 years old, he's a guy who has experience. Listen, why not take a shot on him? Just like Frank Close predicted yesterday, saying that the Phillies should take a look at him just to get some depth in the bullpen. Now, of course, I know there's a handful of you folks that are all 40 and up or even 35 and up. I mean, you know, who look at him and say, well, that's Steve Bedrosian's kid. Bedrock won a Cy Young. Maybe this guy can come in and be the closer. I'm not betting on that. You know, during his Angels career, he only had a total of 9 saves in his time with the Angels. So I'm not going to sit here and act like he's some bona fide closer or he's going to come in here and fix all the bullpen issues. But it's a pretty cool move. A little nostalgia. If he does come up with the Phillies, you know, do they play in the Powder Blues that day and hope that he gets into the game? Does Bedrock come back to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia and hang out with with the fans and everything when his son makes his debut with the Phillies? You know, just some fun stuff to think about. I'm not getting carried away with it. You know, Bedrosian's not the great pitcher. The son, that was pretty good. Heck, half the reason why, you know, most people even know who Steve Bedrosian isn't because they remember him playing with the Phillies. It's because they had his baseball card. I felt like every other pack of baseball cards I opened up in the 90s had a Bedrock card throwback. You know, you used to get those packs of cards that were a mix of like modern and older cards in those big box packs, and you open it up, and you always felt like you were getting a Steve Bedrosian, Ron Darling, and then some other random player that, like, you know, was never a great player, but was good enough to, like, be recognizable, right? You know, all those Will Clarks. Bedrosian was one of those guys. You know, you had a couple Bedrosian with the Braves, a couple Bedrosian with the Phillies. Phillies where he really made his mark, even though he's only with the Phillies for a short amount of time. You know, that's where he won the Cy Young. That's where he became, you know, this superstar closer, was with Philadelphia. Wasn't the same with San Francisco, but his best years were in Philly. So, I mean, it'd be cool if his kid came up and did well, but I'm not expecting that. Don't get carried away. More information about Cam Bedrosian signing with the Phillies, as well as Steven Nelson, Darius Slay story over at 97.3 ESPN.com. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget the 97.3 ESPN mobile app for your Phillies, Sixers, Eagles, Flyers, and high school sports coverage. All the stories we talked about, you can catch on the app. You can download it for free. Thanks to First Bank of Sea Isle City. Coming up next, though, Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg joins the show to get more into all these topics and more right here with yours truly, Josh Hennig, here on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where you can watch the show. Just follow 97.3 ESPN.
The NBA playoffs continue.
Paul gets fouled, spins to the basket and scores.
Chris Paul and the Suns win Game 1 in Phoenix. Can the Bucks bounce back and get the split on the road? Or will the Suns keep on rolling?
The box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from the Milwaukee Bucks.
Game 2 of the Bucks and Suns. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
The NBA Finals, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey's sports leader.
You asked for it. You got it. Fast Track Checkout at either Matt Blatt Kia location. Buy it your way. Complete your purchase online or have us deliver it during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event at Matt Blatt Kia in Egg Harbor Township or Tom's River. 0 money down and 0% financing for up to 60 months on every 2021 Kia Soul, Sportage, or Forte. Plus, we need your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Get out of that old car you hate with 0 down payment and 0% APR financing available for up to 60 months. Try Fast Track Checkout. Purchase completely online and have us deliver right to your home or office. Only at Matt Blatt Kia, where you can't make a mistake with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
Offers with approved Tier 1 or 2 credit through Kia Motors Finance. Not all will qualify. 0% based on 1667 for 1,000 borrowed. Negative equity financed into new loan. Go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township. And now on Route 37 in Tom's River.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot, but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Finals are finally here, and FanDuel Sportsbook has a championship offer you don't want to miss. Because during the finals, new users get 30-1 odds on either team to win their next game. That's right. New users get 30-1 odds on any team to win their next game. That means you can win $150 on a $5 bet. There are so many ways to win with FanDuel Sportsbook during the NBA Finals on their simple-to-use app with unique, fun bet types and exclusive, always-on promotions. New users sign up with promo code Hennig to bet on the NBA Finals with 30-1 odds. Once again, that's promo code Hennig to unlock 30-1 odds on either team to win their next game exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey. New users only. Must wagering designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. $150 max bonus. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig back here on a Wednesday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Joining us as he does each and every week here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN, Dave Weinberg for a Weinberg Wednesday. We got some Eagles news to get into, also some more baseball talk as well with Dave as he joins us each and every week here on the live video stream. Dave, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Josh. Trying to stay cool, but it's losing effort so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a steamy one today. That's for sure. I don't think anybody should be avoiding the water today. That's to say the least.
That's the truth. Yep.
So, Dave, it looks like you might get your wish all along. You've been hoping that the Eagles would find a way for Zach Ertz to still be here, and now all of a sudden there's speculation that all of a sudden now Zach Ertz is going to be in training camp. So what do you think about this change in all this? This maybe the Eagles saying we didn't get the value they wanted. Is maybe Zach Ertz then maybe coming to some sort of amicable place, because it's a new coach, new situation. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'd like to think that's true. If it happens, I'd be thrilled. I think, as I've been saying all along, I was hoping that Zach would be able to find a way to stay an Eagle. I was hoping the Eagles would find a way to keep him. And maybe that's the case. Maybe it's a new coaching staff, new atmosphere, new culture. And maybe they think Zach will, I would think they would think Zach will help establish a strong culture there, being one of the veterans on the team. And hopefully that'll come to pass.
I think also that, even if they do eventually move on from him, I just think, Dave, that it just makes sense for him to be here because of the fact that it was a rough year last year. It could only help his trade value. It can only help the Eagles in him mentoring younger players. I mean, he still is the standard in this organization at this point of being a veteran, of being a guy who worked with the community. It's just everything you hear and see about this guy. He's a good human being, and why not have more good human beings around your football team?
Yeah, I mean, that's especially the case in the NFL. The more strong leaders you can have, the better off you're going to be because you have so many players on your roster. You need guys who are going to set the tone, going to set the example, not necessarily about how things were, but just a guy who you can rely on, the younger players can rely on for advice and guidance. And Zach certainly fits that mold. So, yeah, you're right. It would a good year would enhance his trade value also. I would hope that they maybe find a way to keep him as an Eagle for the foreseeable future. But I guess we got to take that one step at a time.
Yeah, everything's one step at a time at this point. Also, the reality is that, everyone leaves eventually. Very rarely do people
That's true.
stay with one team for their entire career. So, we would like that to happen. But, we know in today's world of people moving and going places has changed. And speaking of today's world, how about Darius Slay tweeting at Steven Nelson, telling him you look good in the Eagles uniform? I mean, is there anything more 2021 than Eagles player tweeting at current free agent to come join the Eagles?
Yeah, I guess that happens, though. You're going to have, guys who want to upgrade the team. So I guess they're going to reach out and try to get them there. But the reality is that's Howie Roseman's call, not necessarily Darius Slay. So I wouldn't place a whole lot of stock, but it's encouraging that, Darius would reach out and try to do a little recruiting, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it means that Steven Nelson is or isn't coming here, but I just thought
right. Yeah, it's kind of funny though. You're right. Yeah,
it's just like a random point in the middle of July. It's like Darius Slay thought that July 6th turning July 7th will be the day that he's gonna tweet at Steven Nelson. Just so random. Now the world is so different now. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a get off my lawn guy, but there's a part of me that's like, there's so much about our lives that would actually be a little better off without social media as involved in our lives. And sometimes I feel like when situations like this happens, everyone's reacting. They're trying to like read between the lines what Steven Nelson is saying. And I'm just like, can't two people have a public conversation of being read into?
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those guys that I'm like you. Sometimes I wonder if social media is more of a detriment than a benefit. The world was a simpler place. I guess I am one of those get off your lawn kind of guys. I don't know, but yeah, the world was a simpler, kinder place sometimes in some respects. Before Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and everything else kind of invaded our culture. I know that sports media's job is definitely different than it used to be.
Absolutely. Speaking of social media, Dave Weinberg at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter.
There you go.
Just kind of seamlessly put that all together. Before social media, people actually had to talk to each other, Dave. Now all of a sudden they have phones in front of their face the whole time, and they can avoid talking to each other. It's a shame.
Videos pop up out of nowhere. It's definitely, you have to be on your guard at all times. Unfortunately,
yes, very true. Dave, I don't know if you saw, but Steve Bedrosian's son has signed a minor league contract with the Phillies. Cam Bedrosian.
Wow.
So we may see Bedrock Jr. in a Phillies uniform this year. Tell me your thoughts of the dad, though, Steve Bedrosian. He wasn't here with the Phillies very long, but he had his best years in a Phillies uniform, to say the least.
Yeah, very good pitcher. And they could use, if his son is anything like his dad, they could certainly use him, considering the way the bullpen's imploding, and it's almost on a nightly basis. I mean, we give them a 10-run lead, they can probably hold it, but there's still some exciting moments in there before you can actually get the final out. And yeah, I mean, the more help they can get, the better. And then Steve was definitely a bright spot for the Eagles, or excuse me, for the Phillies back in the day. So maybe his son can kind of fit the bill a little bit and keep up the tradition.
Yeah, but people don't know is that Cam Bedrosian's best years with the Angels. He wasn't really a closer like his dad, but he had some solid years. You had a 3.41 ERA over a 3-year period, so it's not like he's nothing, but
right.
He's serviceable. At this point, he's definitely an upgrade over Neftali Feliz, who was garbage. He didn't play baseball for 2 years. So
there you go.
Dave Weinberg joining us for a Weinberg Wednesday here on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, you and I talked about the home run derby a little bit last week. I wanted to throw to you a conversation that Mike Gill and I were having.
Okay.
Mike Gill and I were going back and forth about the home run derby and the hot dog eating contest. Now, I find the hot dog eating contest one of the stupidest things on planet Earth. I think it's useless. I just don't. It doesn't entertain me. Like, I see the update on my phone that Joey Chestnut had a number of hot dogs, 76. Good for him.
Yep.
But my thing is, I think that it's more impressive hitting home runs than eating 76 hot dogs. Mike Gill disagrees. And I told Gill I would propose this question to you because
you guys have a lot of time on your hands. Go ahead.
Well, my point is that you and I like the home run derby more than Mike Gill does.
Okay.
So I want to know from you, do you feel it's more impressive, Josh Hamilton, for example, hitting all those home runs than Joey Chestnut consuming 76 hot dogs?
Well, it'd be more impressive if Josh Hamilton ate 76 hot dogs, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, it's I understand. I get the hot dog eating contest. It's it's kind of fun. It's quirky. It's a July 4th tradition almost now. As a matter of fact, there was a guy from Mays Landing, I think, a couple years ago, who actually was a competitive eater. I think he finished second to Chestnut in the hot dog eating contest at one of those years. But I just think it's like a fun diversion, kind of like cornhole, that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't place a whole lot of importance on it. I mean, but I love the home run derby, as you know. I think that's wildly more entertaining than seeing somebody shove hot dogs in their mouth.
All right, good. So we're still on the same page there. I had to find an ally because I know the whole world's obsessed with Joey Chestnut and hot. I've never actually sat down and watched it, Dave. Like, there's never been a day of my life on that July 4th where I'm in front of the TV for whatever reason, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to watch. Like, I understand there's a lot of rubbernecking in society, but there's a point in time where like there's a rebellious part of me that's like, if everybody's running off the cliff, I'm just gonna run the other way, kind of thing. That's how I feel with the hot dog eating contest. I feel like people are watching because everybody else is watching, not because it's really entertaining. Like, does anybody want to actually watch people shove food in their mouth? Like they're dipping the hot dogs in water, for goodness sake.
Right.
In their mouth and lubricated. Like there's nothing about this that's aesthetically pleasing. Whereas watching dudes hit blasting home runs all over the place and then have to keep up their stamina for all the rounds to get to the finals and get the win, that's way more interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I remember the Wing Bowl back in the day with the on Super Bowl Sunday. I guess it was a Super Bowl Friday when Spectrum, and they draw like 10, 12,000 people, which I never understood. Yeah, I don't get it either. I guess there's an audience for it. Maybe it's like the side shows that come with it that people are more into. But yeah, people shoving that kind of stuff in their mouth, and then the potential aftermath can be disastrous. So I would rather not see that.
All right, so we currently have 8 participants who have been announced they are going to be in the Home Run Derby this year. Now, the next time I talk to you will be after the Home Run Derby next week. So I'm going to give you the names of the participants, and I want you to tell me, who are you leaning toward when it comes to this group in terms of who you would pick to be the winner, okay?
Okay, sure.
So you got Shohei Ohtani of the Angels.
He's my winner. Keep going, though. Go ahead.
Pete Alonso, the defending champion from 2 years ago.
Right.
Trevor Story, who's in Colorado. It's going to be in Colorado, so he knows that ballpark better than anybody.
Sure.
Trey Mancini, who's pretty much the streakiest hitter in all of baseball at this point in time.
Yep.
Salvador Perez, who is probably the best power hitting catcher in all of baseball. Matt Olson, the only legitimate slugger on the Oakland A's roster. The phenom Juan Soto from the Nationals, and the only thing I do is hit home runs, Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers. That is your 8 men who have committed to this year's Home Run Derby.
I'll go Ohtani. Like I said a couple of seconds ago. Yeah, I mean, Trevor Story's that's a cool thing, being in Colorado, but the ball carries like so easily out there. I don't think it really matters whether you've played there before or not. And Ohtani's on such a tear. I think he just did this 32nd or something home run, and he's just a fascinating story to me. Being pitcher and a hitter first time since Babe Ruth, I guess, and it's really cool to see. And I think I would give him the edge.
See, I'm going with Juan Soto because I think Juan Soto's swing, he can replicate that again and again. Like it's not a swing that he has to change up too much to actually get it. And also the fact that I remember all those years in Colorado, people forget that the left-handed hitters actually, had a good amount of success at Coors Field. Your Larry Walkers, your Todd Heltons. People always talked about Dante Bichette and Vinny Castilla and Andres Galarraga, but those guys were big, powerful dudes. You'd have to be a big powerful lefty that home run in Colorado. And I think Soto, he's so young, he's so underrated as a hitter. I could totally see him just going in there and just going to bank.
Yeah, it's possible. You're right. Yeah, he does have that swing that's repeatable, like you said. That doesn't require a whole lot of adjusting. And as we talked about before, there's some guys who beg out of that because they're afraid they have to adjust their swing so much that they can't get their natural rhythm back, which is pure baloney to me. But yeah, I could see Juan Soto taking it.
I think Joey Gallo is probably going to have the record for home runs in and around, though. I think like in the first round, he's going to go nuts and he's going to run out of steam. Like he's going to hit like 20 home runs in the first round. They're all going to be like 500-foot bombs. And then the second he'll hit like 5 and he'll be out of it, kind of thing. Like he's my candidate for like go big and then go home.
Yeah, I can see that. He's getting along in years a little bit, and he might be running out of steam. Yep, you're right there.
And also remember he also hits in a home run friendly ballpark as well, does Gallo. So he's familiar with hitting home runs. I'm with you. I think Trevor Story is a nice story, no pun intended. But it's just like he's not your traditional Colorado Rocky power hitter.
No, not even close. You're right. Yep, not the biggest of guys. Yep.
Yeah, not a big guy, but he also is not a guy that like like when Nolan Arenado was with the Rockies, like he had that build for like a guy who was going to knock home runs out. Like Story's a little bit of a smaller guy. A lot of his home runs are just through like, really good contact. They're not, he has like, power. Like you mentioned Ohtani. One of the things about Ohtani I think forget is that his swing is very friendly to contact. So as long as he's making good contact, he has a chance to hit it deep. Whereas a guy like Story, all he does is make good contact. Like he's not a guy whose like swing is anything more than just a contact swing. So I don't know. He might have got the first round, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he's more of a line drive hitter, and the ball might carry a little bit more than than a typical line drive hitter. But yeah, you're right. He's not really built for that kind of stuff, especially in the home run contest where you're swinging for the fences on every pitch. I don't think he'll go very far.
Dave Weinberg joining us for a Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter. His extra point columns over at 97.3ESPN.com. All right, Dave, how was your July 4th weekend? The weather did finally clear out at least for Sunday and Monday. So how was your 4th of July weekend?
Fantastic, actually. Saturday, the family and we went down to the Bay in Lower Township to watch the fireworks, but it's more about people watching there. You get some really interesting characters going up down the road, and the fireworks were okay. They weren't. I don't think they were anything great, but they were okay. And then, unfortunately, it started to rain just as the finale was happening, so we left. But and Sundays was in Cape May. We just sat on the beach, which is our tradition. And the cool thing about it is if you look into the distance, you can see Delaware's fireworks, and then you look behind you can see Wildwood's fireworks. And then you just look out in the ocean and you see Cape May. So you get like 3 for the price of 1. And it's a really cool thing. You a bunch of people that, you normally don't see. Yeah, you gather at the beach and kind of chat and catch up. And then it's a pretty cool. The traffic was terrible, but that goes without saying. It's going to be that way. So, but I had a good time. Really good time.
July weekend usually. Well, for me, the traffic started coming even before the weekend hit. Like I noticed.
Oh, sure, absolutely, yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I'm like, all right, well. We're back to some sort of normalcy here because, the people are coming down already. The greatest thing that I've dealt with is I thought the weekend was done. Apparently some people already stayed a couple extra days this week. So people are leaving South Jersey on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yep. I thought most people leaving on Monday, but there's a group of people who said, hey, we're staying a couple extra days. And so, driving in the last 2 days, I've been like, wow, I was not expecting this many people on the road on 2 days removed from 4th of July. So
yeah, well, I think Monday was considered a holiday for a lot of people, so they wanted to stay and take advantage of as much as they could. But yeah, and then actually yesterday I had to go to Philadelphia for something. I came back and the cars that were going towards Philly after on my way home, it was like bumper to bumper the whole way on Route 47. It was a lot of people tried to squeeze in 1 or 2 more days. Yep.
All right, Dave, one more before I let you go.
Sure.
Do you have any interest at all in the McGregor versus Poirier 3 fight this weekend?
Mildly.
Like a passing interest?
Yeah, I mean, McGregor always talks a big game, but, Poirier kind of handled him the second fight. McGregor won the first one. So I guess it's interesting in terms of the rubber match, so to speak. But I don't know how much time. I don't know how much preparation Conor put into this. He always says he's focused and he's ready, but I just don't think his focus is where it used to be. So I wouldn't be surprised if Dustin, takes care of him in the first round again. But yeah, you never know. It could be a good fight, and I don't think I'll watch it, but I'll pay attention to the highlights.
With McGregor, I want to ask you about this analogy. There's a part of me with him that wonders is. When he was being successful, he was crazy. He was out of control. He was a bit of a nut job, right? And now he's like this calm down version. He's a family man and all this stuff. And it almost makes you wonder, like, it's almost a little like, Mike Tyson at the end. It was like Mike Tyson was the scariest man on earth, right? And then, everything happened in his personal life and he came back to boxing. He wasn't really the same. And I almost kind of wonder, is that what McGregor is now? Is he like, Tyson, the later act, where it's like, he's still going to have these moments, but he's never going to be that guy again.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I was reading a story actually earlier this morning about how somebody had the opinion that the sport has kind of passed them by a little bit. That the techniques that he used to be so successful earlier in his career don't necessarily work all that much. Petroia was known for having a lot of calf kicks in the second fight. That kind of McGregor kind of commented that he really wasn't expecting that, which is hard to believe. But yeah, I just think there's other interests with him now. I just don't. I don't know if he has the dedication and the focus necessary to get back to the top.
Well, he's certainly not doing it for the money because he sold.
Yeah, that's true.
He sold his proper whiskey company for a ridiculous amount of money. So,
oh, no kidding, really?
Wow. He technically never has to fight ever again to have money because he sold the majority stake, and from what I understand, he only owns about 5% still in the company. So,
oh, how about that? Okay.
Yeah, so
I've never been a big fan of his, but more power to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of his either for a variety of reasons, but he's still a big name and he's still a spectacle. And like I said, like Tyson is a party that looks at him, and when you're going to watch, you're going to see something. You don't know what that something is, but you're going to see something. So
like throwing a chair at a bus or something. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, hopefully those days are over. He's supposed to be a family man now, so whatever that means.
Okay.
Dave Weinberg. Every Wednesday, he joins us for Weinberg Wednesday at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter. Extra Point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. And, of course, Tequila and Touchdowns with Dave Weinberg, the podcast available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And he joins us each week here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, enjoy the conversation and enjoy the rest of your week.
Same to you, Josh. Talk to you next week. Thanks again, as always.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, we'll get you guys' thoughts and comments on the other side. Text board is open, 609-403-0973. Let's go 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. And we're also live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where you can watch the show and comment with your guys' thoughts and comments next, right here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig, this is Game Night.
The NBA playoffs continue.
Paul gets fouled, spins to the basket and scores.
Chris Paul and the Suns win Game 1 in Phoenix. Can the Bucks bounce back and get the split on the road, or will the Suns keep on rolling?
The box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from the Milwaukee Bucks.
Game 2 of the Bucks and Suns. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
The NBA Finals, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey's sports leader.
Experience the best barbecue on the planet July 9th through July 11th in North Wildwood. It's the New Jersey State Barbecue Championship. Mouth-watering ribs, chicken, brisket, and pork, masterfully marinated and seasoned, then smoked for hours to the point of perfection. This ain't just grilling, this is art. Who will be the champion? Come witness barbecue teams from around the country show off their skills in a quest for the best. Experience the best barbecue on the planet July 9th through July 11th in North Wildwood at the New Jersey State Barbecue Championship. Sponsored by Anglesey Fire Company.
You asked for it. You got it. Fast Track Checkout at either Matt Blatt Kia location. Buy it your way. Complete your purchase online or have us deliver it during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event at Matt Blatt Kia in Egg Harbor Township or Tom's River. 0 money down and 0% financing for up to 60 months on every 2021 Kia Soul, Sportage, or Forte. Plus, we need your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Get out of that old car you hate with 0 down payment and 0% APR financing available for up to 60 months. Try Fast Track Checkout. Purchase completely online and have us deliver right to your home or office. Only at Matt Blatt Kia, where you can't make a mistake with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
Offers with approved Tier 1 or 2 credit through Kia Motors Finance. Not all will qualify. 0% based on 1667 for 1,000 borrowed. Negative equity financed into new loan. Go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township. And now on Route 37 in Tom's River.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank Seattle City. We are live here in the Matt Blatt Kia studios on 97.3 ESPN. You can watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Yes, Matt Blatt Kia. They will get you approved today. Matt Blatt Kia, Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township. Visit them online at mattblattkia.com. Also, we went 3-0 on the FanDuel Sportsbook picks last night. Of course, we had the same game parlay of the Phillies and the Phillies money line combined with the over 10 runs last night. We also had the Suns covering the spread last night as well. So the NBA Finals are finally here. Next game, Game 2, tomorrow night. You hear all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. Tomorrow night coverage begins at 8 p.m. And FanDuel Sportsbook is a championship offer you don't want to miss, because during the finals, new users get 30-1 odds on either team to win their next game. So if you're like Mike Gill and think the Suns will win Game 2, you can go on there and jump on the Suns. Or if you think the Bucks will get revenge and get rid of home court advantage and take Game 2, you could do it right now, because new users get 31 odds on any team to win their next game on FanDuel Sportsbook. That means you could bet $150 on a $5 bet. Yes, $150 on a $5 bet is what you can win, because there are so many ways to win with FanDuel Sportsbook during the NBA Finals on their simple-to-use app with unique and fun bet types and exclusive always-on promotions like same-game parlays. New users sign up with my promo code Hennig to bet on the NBA Finals with 30-1 odds. Once again, that's promo code Hennig to unlock 31 odds on either team to win their next game, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey. New users only must wager in designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. $150 max bonus. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you're watching the games last night and, you know, the NBA Finals, I think that it's one of those deals where this is going to be a long series. I don't think it's going to be a short series at all. I think that you're going to see a situation where the Suns are going to have to deal with whatever the Bucks come up with to counter them. The Bucks now have lost Game 1, 3 straight series. Okay, they had that set up on SportsCenter last night. So, at what point do we talk about the fact that the Bucks can come back and make an adjustment? You know, the Bucks were left for dead versus the Nets after 2 games. They were made fun of profusely after Game 1 versus the Hawks, and they won both those series. So, this could be a situation where the Bucks just have to find a way to make an adjustment, and then this series goes 6-7 games. And I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I think that it's a situation where I'm going to be excited to see how it plays out. I think there's adjustments the Bucks can make. First of all, My biggest problem with the Bucks is, before I get to the adjustment they make, the fact they can't make these adjustments in game to me is pretty pathetic. They have to make it from game to game. They can't make it in game. Like, you don't think somebody at some point going to turn around and be like, man, Brook Lopez is getting cooked right now. He's getting roasted. He's getting run over the coals right now. Maybe we should make an adjustment. At some point, a coach, another player, someone has to turn around and be like, guys, this ain't working. Come on. I never understood why there are some people who just can't make adjustments in game. Never, ever, ever, ever understood it at all. It's just such a strange thing to me. But the Bucks, this is what they do. They make adjustments from game to game. They can't make adjustments in game. And as a result, I think you're going to see a different Bucks team tomorrow night, and then an even more different team on Sunday when they get back home, because the Bucks have a long history of playing much better at home than on the road when it comes to these postseason games. So I think that this is going to be a close series down the road. I saw the Suns winning in 6 games, but I think that the Bucks are going to make this a very much closer series in game 1, maybe left everyone to believe. So, again, game 2 tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. right here on your home for Sixers basketball, the NBA Finals, and more right here on 97.3 ESPN. Also, we will have the Home Run Derby on Monday night, the All-Star Game on Tuesday night, and, of course, Game 4 of the NBA Finals next Wednesday. So we got you covered on everything that's going on in the sports world right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. I mentioned earlier that we would get to this, and that is, with the Phillies playing tonight and with Zach Wheeler, I know some people are wondering what the Phillies can do, and I'm tend to believe that they can make a run at this. I genuinely do, and I think that, time will tell if they can make a run or not. So keep it tuned for the Phillies. We'll see what they do, but I think they have to win tonight. A couple comments over here. We got people watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Got a comment over the Real Sea Wagon on Twitter. Says, we're talking about Steven Nelson earlier in the show. Steven Nelson wants money. He can start wherever he wants. Listen, if he only cares about the money, then he's going to end up in a very sad situation. Because, first of all, what he should do is he should come to a team where he knows he's going to be able to play well, and then earn himself a new contract. That's what he really should be doing. He shouldn't worry about the initial money up front. He needs to worry about, where can I go to play well to then get the big contract? That's what years ago a guy like Aqib Talib did, right? When things went south for him with Tampa, he had to go to the Patriots, rehabilitate his reputation, and then he got another contract from Denver at the end of his career, right? Or other players. There's tons of players that do this. They go out there, they have a career year, they get their big contract. It feels like Nelson completely miscalculated this offseason when it came to his options. So if he only cares about money, he ain't ended up in Philadelphia. I can tell you that right now. Philadelphia is, they just don't have the money. They don't have the salary cap space to just give you a big contract. It's just a numbers game. It's not a I like you or don't like you game. It's just a numbers game. So, yeah, if that's the case, Real Sea Wagon on Twitter, that, he's just not coming here. Jeff Bonapookie says there were so many rumors with everything. Yeah, there's rumors with the Eagles, Sixers, but it's that time of year. People don't have a lot to do, so there's a lot of swirling conversations. Like, everyone's freaking out right now that Ben Simmons was caught on picture. People took pictures of him locking lips with his girlfriend out in California. Like, see, Ben Simmons is too busy hanging out with his girlfriend instead of working on his basketball game. It's like, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to hold one picture against the guy. I don't know. I'm not with him. At this point, I don't know what to believe with Ben Simmons anymore. So you're right, Jeff. It's just way too many rumors. Over on Facebook, Adam Gaskell chimes in and says, what do you think of the home run hat for the Phillies? Is it fun or is it dumb because they're not even 500? I think it's fun. I think so many times that we get carried away because we love sports and we're passionate about it, that we forget it's still a game. So if the guys want to go out there, put a hat on, have a little fun, who cares? Let them do it. Why not? I don't think you have to be a winning ball club or not a winning ball club to do certain things. Yeah, let the guys have some fun. Let them have a little levity. No harm, no foul. The thing that bothers me is that I think is ridiculous, a little dumb. Why do we have to dump all this liquid on the guy every time he does a post-game interview? You're destroying all these headsets for NBC Sports Philadelphia. Why don't you dump on the guy at another point in time? I don't know. It just feels weird. That's what I think is dumb. I think that the whole dumping the Gatorade on the guy while he's doing an interview, I think is overrated. All right, this is Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. I'll catch you back on here tomorrow, 6 p.m.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff. Learn more, live better.
It's time to get your grill on. What's summer without a cookout? If you're hosting a get-together, you want to make sure you do it right. Here are some tips from the grill company Weber. Preheat the grill with the lid closed for 10 to 15 minutes. It loosens any bits of food on the grate and makes for more even cooking. Keep the grill clean to keep food from sticking. It's easiest to clean with a stainless steel brush while it's still hot. Put oil on the food, not the grate. Keep the lid down while cooking to sear the food, speed cooking time, and prevent flare-ups. If you're using a charcoal grill, skip the lighter fluid. Who wants foul-smelling chemicals under their food? Chimney starters and lighter cubes are much cleaner and more effective. Finally, use a grill thermometer to make sure your food is cooked properly. Following a few simple grilling guidelines will make for fun, safe, and delicious barbecues all summer long. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life.
The NBA Finals are finally here, and FanDuel Sportsbook has a championship offer you don't want to miss. Because during the Finals, new users get 30-1 odds on either team to win their next game. That's right. New users get 30-1 odds on any team to win their next game. That means you can win $150 on a $5 bet. There are so many ways to win with FanDuel Sportsbook during the NBA Finals on their simple-to-use app with unique, fun bet types and exclusive, always-on promotions. New users sign up with promo code HENNIG to bet on the NBA Finals with 30-1 odds. Once again, that's promo code HENNIG to unlock 30-1 odds on either team to win their next game exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey. New users only. Must wagering designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. $150 max bonus. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.